This program is brought to you by the following sponsors.
What is going on, guys? Jay Shy here with another video, and not even going to waste time with an intro or anything like that, which I kind of just did. This video is going to be about a game that I just recently bought that I think deserves a little attention, and it's impressions video. It's not a review, but this is about Legend of Legacy. I picked this up on release. I've been playing this game for about the past couple of days. It came out Tuesday, and I've been playing the game non-stop. I have a couple of things I have to say about it, but before I do, let me tell you guys one thing. I've been playing a lot of Bloodborne, a lot of Bloodborne, and Bloodborne is one of those games that made me I guess I can kind of say it made me appreciate the storytelling style that it has, where it's basically the game doesn't tell you a story. It's kind of you just you're kind of running around fighting monsters and you're kind of figuring things out for yourself. Bloodborne and Dark Souls were I don't know if they were the originators of that, but they kind of made me appreciate that kind of storytelling style. And I've been playing Bloodborne for a while now, and I'm every time I play it, I figure out something new, and it's really interesting. Now, you guys are probably wondering, I just mentioned Legend of Legacy, and now I'm mentioning Bloodborne. There's a reason for that. Legend of Legacy has been getting, I would say, mixed reviews. It's been getting a lot of mixed reviews. Some people love it, and some people hate it, and I noticed that a lot of people who've been saying, oh, this game's trash, it's not that great, yada yada yada, are people who saw the game, compared it to Bravely Default, and because they got the game and didn't realize it wasn't like Bravely Default, completely trashed it and hated it. Now, I didn't know anything about this game. I knew about this game I think it was 2 years ago. I knew about this game when it was originally going to be released in Japan. So I think that was about 2-3 years ago, and I was like, I'm gonna get this game if it ever comes out in America. I didn't know anything about its background or anything like that, but it just looked interesting. Now, people have been trashing the game, and because they thought it was like Bravely Default. I didn't think it was gonna be like Bravely Default at all. Come to realize later on that the game is made by the original creators from Squaresoft, some of the original veterans of Squaresoft. The writer who wrote this game is the same writer who did Chrono Trigger. Some of the video game directors and video game designers were basically from Saga Frontier. If you guys don't know that, it's a PS1 RPG. Saga Frontier. One of I think the director or I think game designer from the game 999 is involved in this game. The musical score comes from the guy who did Saga Frontier and Final Fantasy 13. Some of these guys are veterans from Squaresoft, and I'm calling it Squaresoft, not Enix, because it was Squaresoft when they were around there. Except for the guy who did the music, he was there with Square Enix. But the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because Bloodborne and this is the game kind of plays out like the game is telling you a story like how Bloodborne or Dark Souls does. I've been playing the game, and I'm not gonna lie, when I first started the game, I was a little let down by the game, only because I was like, all right, so there is sort of like a story, but it doesn't tell you it like a traditional RPG. And as I kept playing the game, I started to put things together, where Bravely Default was a game that was here's a story, we're gonna tell it to you. Legend of Legacy is more of a game that tells you piece things together, figure it all out. It's putting you on a blank slate, and you basically have to figure out the quest on your own. You find the story yourself, and it's really engaging. It's very, very engaging because instead of you walking to the next set piece and a cutscene will happen where people are talking between one another, you explore the island and you're kind of piecing things together yourself, and it's really addicting that way. Um, I'm figuring things out the more and more I explore the island, and I'm figuring more and more things out about the game. Is that even though the game has characters and they all have their own set motivations, that is really the background story. The main character of this game, Legend of Legacy, is the island itself. Every bit of the game that you run around through, you come across these things. They're like these rocks, like mythic relics that you come across, and they whisper things to you, and they tell you a little bit more of the story that you kind of piece together. That is really, really addicting because you just want to find out more. I think I've kind of grasped what the game is about, but I'm still not sure. But I kind of grasp some things. Like, my theory is, this is just a theory. It's not saying that it's real. Like, because I'm only about 11 hours through the game, and I don't even think I've even scratched the surface. Now, my theory about the game story is, like, the island used to have gods that lived on it, and they're using elementals right now. During the game, they're using elementals. They're draining the source energy from the elements around the world so that they can kill themselves, because they're tired of living lives, watching people live their lives, and then they wither and die. And I think the game is getting to the point where the gods want to kill themselves, so that they can be human, so they can stop living a life of eternity and stuff like that. That's my theory. Now, I could be wrong. I've gotten pretty far into not far into the game. I've unlocked a couple of different areas, but I'm noticing that the game is taking me to different areas, and all the different areas tell a different story. And it's really interesting that way. I see what they're going for, the creators. I see what kind of storytelling they're going for, and it's really addicting in that nature. But a lot of people weren't looking for that kind of story when they see a game that looks like this, because automatically everybody compared it to Bravely Default, because they're like, oh, it looks just like Bravely Default. And then when you think about it, I was like, well, wasn't the first game to really do this style Legend of Mana or Secret of Mana? Or, if you want to compare this game to anything, at least compare it to the first game, or Saga Frontier, because it looks like Saga Frontier. But everybody's like, oh, it looks like Bravely Default. It should either play or be better than. And I think that was completely wrong. I mean, if you're gonna get a brand new RPG, at least judge it on its own merit. And that's what I did, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Now the gameplay is very, how do I say? It can be hard, but the game is hard. I'm not gonna doubt that. The game is difficult. But Shin Megami Tensei is difficult, at least a couple of steps lower than Shin Megami Tensei difficult. But it's pretty hard. The game has, the battle system has these things called formations, where you can create your own formations of your team. Of your team, and have formations, and different formations can boost different skill sets. Like you can have your attack, your guards, and your support. Now, if you build a formation where certain people support, they'll level that up. Now, people don't gain levels. What they do is they level up their weapons, their skills itself, and sometimes like their base HP or SP. They don't level up themselves. Like, you don't keep fighting to level up yourself. You keep fighting to level up your skills and weapons. That is weird at first, but then you kind of get used to it. You're just like, this is really interesting. Now the formations, almost in my opinion, I've never played Saga Frontier, but I've heard they're in Saga Frontier as well. But to me, they kind of play like paradigm shifts, but way better. Instead of you using paradigm shifts to shift your way into something completely different, the game gives you 100% control of your, I'm gonna call it shit, or your formation. Like, let's say if you're in a formation, and paradigm shifts was basically they gave each character's like jobs. Like, if someone's a healer, someone's this, someone's that. Formations do that exact same thing, but you don't have to stay like that. Like, let's say if this formation makes this person a healer, you don't have to make that person heal. It would boost that ability. Yes, it'll speed up the ability of the heal, and it would make them heal even more. But if you use something else like an attack during a heal formation, it just makes them deal less damage. So I thought that was kind of interesting. The other thing that they have is they have these things where you can sign contracts with elementals during a battle. So there is 4 different elements that wave around during a battle, which is a green elemental, blue elemental, a red elemental, and this purple elemental. You can kind of guess what it is. Green is for grass, blue is for water, red is for fire, and purple is for darkness. Red is to boost attacks. Green is to every turn you boost your SP, so you regain some of your MP or whatever. And blue is to regain HP, but it also allows you to change the course of the battlefield, which was super interesting. So you have formations, but now you have the ability to make contracts with elementals so that it makes the battlefield stronger for you. The downside to this is that certain enemies can also sign contracts with those elementals so that they can change the battlefield in their favor. So it's like this battle system that goes back and forth, and you signing contracts and you building formations, and it's so interesting, and people are like overlooking this, and because it doesn't play like a traditional game like Bravely Default, people are like, well, I don't like this game. And it's doing so many like cool things right. I can agree, like, if a person doesn't like the storytelling aspect, but then that person would go right ahead and say, well, I love Bloodborne's storytelling aspect, and it's the same exact thing, and it doesn't make sense. But other than that, the battle system is amazing. It's amazingly fluid. It's something fresh. It's new, and it's something I haven't seen before. As for the music, let me move on to that. The music is phenomenal, hands down. If I had more thumbs, they will go straight up to the moon. I've listened to half the soundtrack, and I'm not even done. It is phenomenal. The guy who did this did a phenomenal job. Like, hands down, this music is amazing. Listen to it on YouTube. It is great. I can listen to every track from beginning to end, and it is hands down great. As for the look of the game, I would say this. It doesn't look as good as Bravely Default, in my opinion, but I get what they were going for. They were going for this kind of watercolor look or aesthetic, and it works. It works. If you put them side by side by Bravely Default, of course Bravely Default has like lighting and all this extra stuff, but they did a good job. A lot of people said they hate the fact that when you're running in dungeons, they don't like the fact that grass or trees pop up in front of you, like in a game called Bastion. It's kind of like that almost. People didn't like that, and I kept trying to figure out, well, why? And to me, it doesn't make sense. It's not annoying. I mean, it's actually kind of cool. It's creative in my aspect. But I don't know. It seems like a lot of people needed a reason to complain about this game, just because it looks similar to Bravely Default and doesn't play like that. People got upset. But I can honestly say, right now, I'm loving the game. And if you take it for what it is, it's amazing, and it's well done. It's not a bad game. I pretty much bought this game because I really wanted to support the developers, because they were like developers of games that I loved back in the day. And I really wanted to play this game, and I've been playing it non-stop, and it's really good. And I think you guys should give this game a try too. Legend of Legacy. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to find this edition anymore, only because this is the release date edition. And when I went to the store, they only had 3 copies, and only 1 was to be sold. the other two were being held for people. So I got pretty lucky. But I think you guys should give it a try. If you don't, I mean, at least try a demo. I hope they do have one, but it's really good. It's worth the time. So that is my impressions video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, I will see you guys next time. Peace.